Hi, welcome. My name is Angelina and we need to pray for boy group stans. Yes, I'm back, but only because I have a lot of pent-up anger after having been mini cancelled and taking 11 days off. So the amount of rage I feel right now can't possibly be hidden behind a fake desktop. But yes, today we are going to be doing my September K-pop review, where we basically take a look at what has been released this month, from debuts to comebacks, and we rank them using a super fancy tier ranking system. Now, I'll go over them very briefly, but of course, they're pretty self-explanatory, and you can of course skip this part if you would like to by using the time bar below. So at the top, of course, we have Big Booty Bop, which is Song of the Year material. These are songs that go straight onto our playlist and stay there for a very long time. Right below that, we have Cup of Milk, which are songs that still end up on our playlist, but maybe they don't last as long, but they still gave us a good time, right? Below that, we have Second Gen Vibes. These are songs that don't quite make it onto the playlist, but you know, if they randomly popped up, we probably wouldn't skip them. Followed by, of course, It Exists, our neutral tier. Then, of course, Grow or Not a Show, which are songs that I really didn't like at first, but they ended up growing on me. Actually, because of this month, I think I'm gonna call this tier K-pop Hell. Fuck my glasses. Then, of course, we have everyone's favorite tier, which is YG's Dungeon. These are songs where I would tangibly change something about them. And then, of course, Not My Cup of Tea for songs that I simply don't like, or maybe, you know, they're good songs, I just wouldn't listen to them. So with all that said, and without further ado, let's get into this video. And as always, feel free to roast the shit out of my opinions in the comments. I don't need to say that for you guys to know to do that anyways. You don't need to tell K-pop stans to have no inhibition when it comes to... The first song we're going to talk about is Wonho's Blue. Now, I'm a weenie by proxy. Like, it's pronounced weenie, right? I have a friend who is a fan of him. She's a MOBIBI as well. You know, questionable fandom names aside. When the song first started playing, I kind of wanted to straight away put it into Not My Cup of Tea. There was just something a little bit unfinished about it, a little bit raw about it that I wasn't really vibing with. But then I ended up finding it quite charming. The pre-chorus into the chorus was quite dreamy. And actually, if I may say, it does remind me of Lana's Take the Wheel. There's just something that feels a little garage bandy about it. Not in a bad way. I still did enjoy this song. I would personally put it into Second Gen Vibes. I don't think I would personally skip it. I might even put it in a collective playlist for me and my friend if we ever do a road trip, or just for fun for the both of us, because she's a boy group stan. Pray for her. Now let's talk about Loona and Not Friends. I do want to preface this by saying that when I entered My Local Farm Boy, Star by Loona was playing. And then not only that, but the second time I entered My Local Farm Boy, Star by Loona was playing again. Now, I don't feel comfortable expressing out loud what I think about this, but I feel like Orbits are... This is actually a song that ended up on my playlist, though I did have a few critiques. Like, I felt like its opposing elements didn't really flow super well together because we have these sultry, beautiful voices that pair super well with the guitar. For example, the very last We're Not Friends in the song was so amazing, and I would have loved to hear more of that rather than the kind of rough sounding pre-chorus into the chorus. But then again, that part is also super catchy, so I was a little bit conflicted about that, but overall, I did enjoy the song. I would give it Cup of Milk. Moving on to MCND's Movin. We actually missed this song last week, but we're doing some catch up. Is there a way to say that without thinking of condiments? Right off the bat, this was super catchy. It gave me like old school video game vibes, perhaps like Crash Bandicoot in that area, which I thought was super clever. In that same breath though, it did remind me of Ateez's The Real. Just the same vibe overall, like they would probably sit at the same table. And this song just makes me feel really cool when I listen to it, so I would definitely give it Cup of Milk. Now onto Hyuna and Dawn's Ping Pong. I feel like the this was somehow on a similar wavelength in the sense that they're playing off these old school video game vibes. And I would say it's a very refreshing take on this kind of almost overdone early 2000s trends that we're really seeing a lot of. You have to admit, recently, even last year, the 80s trend has been done a lot, and the early 2000s trend is currently being done a lot as well, with us seeing the 80s trend kind of weaning off a little bit. Now, I'm sure a lot of people would agree that this gave very much YG vibes, and I can assume it's because Psy was at YG for quite a long time. But I'm personally not mad about that. I think it's amazing. My friend said it was like a really cheap YG knockoff song, and I almost punched her. I'm kidding, but you know, my rage issues, the like punch emojis is in my I think you guys can kind of guess where this is going. This is definitely the best song that was released this month. Is it the best song that was released this year so far? I have no concept of time. I'm still stuck on How You Like That. I don't know. The cow print. Holy crap. It's amazing. It makes me want to go out and buy like a cow print thing. But I know it would be too shocking for you guys to see me wear anything else than this sweater. So for your sake, I won't. But just know that I thought about it, okay? I'm honestly in love with what Hyuna and Dawn bring to the table, especially in the style department. It's beautiful. It's unconventional. It's really outside of the box. And you guys know that I love that. Like Zimzelbim was not a terrible styling error. I will die on this hill. Hyuna and Dawn seem to just like hit every point every single time. Even if I'm questioning it, even if I'm like, that looks like a diaper, I don't know how I feel about it, like at least they're doing something. And it's original and it's beautiful and I really appreciate them. And I did want to point this out, but for their first stage, Dawn looks like the Lucky Charms guy, right? And Hyuna looks like the Rainbow Marshmallow. I just wanted to say that. But yeah, this song is big booty bop. I love how fun it is in every single facet, from styling to performance to the dance to the music video to their expressions, just everything. It's an all-rounder. I love it. Next up, we have StayC and Stereotype. I'll admit I wasn't the biggest fan of StayC when they first debuted. In fact, So Bad was a grower for me. But I ended up falling in love with the song pretty recently, actually. So when they announced they were having a comeback, I was pretty excited. But then those teaser pictures just really weren't it for me. And then when the actual song came out, I just felt like they didn't really match whatsoever. The teaser pictures seemed more in line with, like, let's say a concept like Wannabe from Itzy, and then the song ended up being a little bit more fluffy. Now, I have absolutely no quarrel with like the first verse and the pre-chorus, but then the rest of the song to me just, I get a little bit lost and I'm not really feeling it. But it unfortunately ended up disappointing me, and I don't say that lightly because again, I had such high hopes with their unique and stunning voices, but the song and I were just not meant to be. It didn't really bring me to this level where I think I would ever listen to this again. So with that being said, I would put this into YG's dungeon because of the sheer potential that I saw in this song. It really just deserved a better chorus. Now we have Ihai and BIBI with their song Savior. Now their last song together was amazing, and I remember BIBI kind of having to be cut off from some of the performances near the end of her promotions, but she's at AOMG now, so it's new beginnings. Good for her. I'm really happy. That sounded so disingenuous. However, this is a case of like a beautiful, stunning voice, just not necessarily the style of song that I would be drawn to or something that I would listen to. So unfortunately, it goes into not my cup of tea. Now on to NCT 127 and Sticker. I'll be honest, this does not feel like a song that I can personally listen to, and it's the flutes in the beginning. It's like working with parrots. I love parrots to death, but I swear I get nauseous and migraines after hearing them scream for too long, and I need to leave. Like, I'm genuinely not an SM anti, but this might be where I draw the line. Like, I cringe every time I need to think even about listening to this song. Does anyone feel that same way as me? Because it's literally nothing against NCT. From what I've heard, like, the vocals, it sounds pretty SM, you know, pretty standard SM. And I'm sure there are parts of it that sound cool as hell, but it's just that, like, screeching flute sound that I cannot get past. Moving on to Luminous and Run. So I think I came across this song. It was just randomly on my YouTube recommended and I checked it out. And when I first listened to it, it's one of those songs where from the first notes you hear, you're like, please don't disappoint me because this sounds so good. And I think it's really rare to feel that way about a song, because sometimes you're like, okay, like I'll give it a chance. You know, maybe 20 seconds into the song, I'll give the chorus a chance. But like right from the beginning, you're like, please don't disappoint me because this sounds amazing, or it sounds really good, or I don't know. So I was thinking that because it sounded really promising. But then that pre-chorus came and hit me like a ton of bricks. It was terrible. I'm sorry. I can look past it. Actually, it ended up on my playlist. Spoiler alert. This got Cup of Milk. But it's just so bad. Like, I love listening to the song, but every time that pre-chorus comes on, I'm just like, who signed off on this? Because like you can look past it, but I did want to complain about that. And I actually discovered the song twice. So I listened to it on YouTube because that's usually where I do most of my research. So I liked it on Spotify, and then I was listening to my playlist, and then it was the end of my playlist. So then a random song started playing, and I'm like, oh, this sounds really good. Like I hope to be able to download this and review it, hopefully. I wonder who it is. And it ended up being Luminous's Run. I forgot I had put it on my playlist. I thought it was, you know, when your playlist ends, sometimes Spotify will play random things. So I discovered it twice and ended up falling in love with it 2 times. So really, as terrible as that pre-chorus is, you can look past it, I promise you. And I do recommend this as a song if you want to check it out. Moving on to Ateez and Deja Vu. I almost unstand Ateez because of 18Es. You guys need to get your shit together. Some of them got mad at me for my review, saying that I was mean to Woosung. Show me where I was mean to him. I just said, you know, he yeeted San out of the way. Like, I didn't make the choreography. Don't get mad at me. And some people were offended that I said there wasn't much of a storyline. I mean, like 90% of that music video is choreography. Again, I didn't direct it. Don't get mad at me. People were just being mean for nothing. I do not care. I do not have time to argue about a drone. If Woosung next to a flower has some type of meaning within Ateez's storyline, then you do the mental gymnastics to figure that out. I'm too depressed to feel anything, but I digress. So I'm a little bit torn on where to put this, because for me, it's Song of the Year. They're my faves. I bought 6 versions of the album, 3 versions, 2 times of the album. I'll explain on my vlog channel how that happened again. But I do genuinely like the song. You guys know when they came out with Fireworks, I was not a fan. I actually created a new tier in my ranking system to accommodate how I felt about Fireworks. So I do genuinely love Deja Vu, but at the same time, as I expressed in my review, I don't know how I would feel like organically about it if it wasn't from Ateez. And that's because I had time to warm up to it before it was actually released, because we had to vote for it. I do think it's really catchy, and if it wasn't from Ateez, I still think it would have ended up on my playlist. Now, does it deserve to be in Big Booty Bop is the question here. And I would say yeah. Moving on to Itzy's song Loco. So I already made an entire review for the song if you want to go check it out. I do think the song is really fun, and I would put it in Cup of Milk, despite my friend literally threatening me into putting it into Big Booty Bop. Disclaimer, Sherry thinks this is Song of the Year. Next up, we have Pixy and Still With Me. Now, from what I understand, this is a special song. I don't think it's on Spotify. At least I can't find it right now. But this started off with such sweet, beautiful vocals and, of course, a wonderful piano accompaniment. Is that a word? Overall, however, it did have like a very inspirational, uplifting type of feel. We're gonna put it into 2nd gen for now, but it could end up higher. Now we have Woosung and Dimples. So we have another 80s inspired song here that I just, when I hear it, at first it was like super cool. I was like, oh wow, like it reminds me of Stranger Things. Everyone who grew up in the 80s is just like, this is how the world works. So personally, this isn't something that I would gravitate towards. So for me, it goes into not my cup of tea, but if it sounds like something you would like, definitely go check it out. Now we have From Us 9 and Talk and Talk. This sounds very familiar, like I've heard it before, but I can't quite put my finger on it. So if you can tell me what you think this song sounds like, please let me know. Either way, I didn't really feel like it stood out to me the most, so it's not something I would listen to, so not my cup of tea. Moving on to Lisa's solo debut with Lalisa and Money.
Say Lalisa, love me, Lalisa, love me.
I have so much to say about this. So much to say about this. There's a whole story with this, okay? Because I uploaded my review, right? And within that review, here's the thing. I stress out a lot about making these videos because I never want to say, oh, this song is big booty bop. But then over time, I'm like, well, maybe I shouldn't have put it there. So I'm really scared of highballing songs and having to put them lower because I feel like I'm lying to people when really, you know, the way you feel about a song could change. I don't know. So in my review, I said maybe it'll end up in Cup of Milk. And it was 2 a.m. and I was really tired. And like all the comments were trashing the song, saying it was a terrible song, saying this, saying that. And I thought like, oh my God, did I listen to the same song? I was so confused because I really didn't think it was that bad. But then again, ever since On the Ground, I lowered my standards to the ground. So admittedly, when I first listened to the song, I was like, oh, it's not hitting as hard as I would have expected. But then I was like, oh, well, it sounds kind of good anyways. But obviously, had I put everything into this like I did for On the Ground, maybe I would have felt a different way. But just as it was, I wasn't expecting the most. So then when it did come out, I was like, oh, you know, it's nice. It's enjoyable. It has a very simple sound within the chorus. There's some ups and downs, but it's not like too much. Like it's not like a next level. You know what I mean? But because everyone was saying how terrible the song was and I thought I was missing something, I cut that part out of my video. I said in the video, I think it's going to be Cup of Milk. I cut it out because I didn't want to be perceived as a liar. Like what if I came to my realization when I had enough sleep that this was actually bad? But then it ended up on my playlist anyways. I really don't think it's that bad. There are some parts where you're like, eh. You know, of course I would have expected something like Pretty Savage, something a lot more girl crush, something a lot more powerful. You know, she says loudest in the room, but she says it with such a sweet voice. Like I feel like it could have used a little bit more power in some places, but otherwise I did enjoy this song quite a bit and it ended up in Cup of Milk. As for Money though, that goes straight to Kpop Hell. I said that in my review as well, that it was a questionable decision. And a lot of people were like, oh my God, no, Money is amazing. I'm like, are we? Wait, we're living in the same capitalistic hellscape, right? You're actually not allowed to unironically like the song. That's what I've decided. Is the chorus catchy as hell? I'll be damned if it isn't. Is this butt move literally everything I've ever wanted in my life? Absolutely, but you take that capitalism loving shit elsewhere. This isn't the place. So into K-pop hell this song goes. How fitting though had it gone into YG's my fucking glasses. Next up we have BIBI and her song Pado. My first thought when I heard this was that it sounds a little bit like I love you, baby. It sounds like it's about to go into that song. Now, I do like the music video. I love the whole mermaid theme where she's like, she gets caught and she's stuck in like this water box. What? She's stuck in this box of water. I can't think of the word. An aquarium. No. I think there's a lot of meaning that can be found within this. And the whole like castaway, you're my wave type theme, I do like it. However, just the sound of it, again, not something I would listen to, so not my cup of tea. But as always, if this sounds like something you would like, then check it out. Next up, we have Monsta X and One Day. I would say it's very bittersweet. The lyrics really... Is that a motorcycle? Lisa? The lyrics really pull off of this concept of like, maybe one day we'll meet again. And that did really touch on my heartstrings. Like, I probably talked about this a little bit before, but like that feeling of forever. It's very vague to say that, but just what forever could be, wanting something to last forever, but really not knowing would it ever come back. I don't know how to explain it, but it's definitely ended up in my playlist, so I'm gonna give it Cup of Milk. Now we absolutely need to talk about Purple Kiss and Zombie. This is one of two songs this month where I kept going back to the teaser because I thought it sounded so amazing. It sounded like Big Booty Bop and I was like, I need something this month. It just felt so unique, so catchy. And I know I made like a zombie comment in my last end of the month review and everyone was like, I can't believe you hate zombies. I love zombies. The Walking Dead, I'm a zombie fiend. I love zombies. That was just me trying to be shady towards JYP. And it didn't work because Sunny's not even under JYP anymore. I didn't know. But anyways, from hearing the teaser, I was super intrigued. So when it finally came out, I was so excited. However, I ended up really only liking the chorus, really only liking the zombie part, the zombie baby 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 baby. Now I do feel like this could grow on me. I just didn't really have the chance to try. But as of right now, I am going to put it into second gen vibes because I don't think I would skip it. I'm in love with the chorus. I think it sounds amazing. I just feel like the rest of the song just isn't enough to like keep me there, if that makes sense. Now we have a debut from a group called IChillin and their song Gotya. This is another song where I feel like the chorus and the rest of the song doesn't really match. Like, I would stay for the chorus, but the rest of it, not so much. Like, it's not enough to keep me there. So again, this one I would probably put it in second gen vibes. Might not skip it, but I don't think it's enough to put it into YG's Dungeon. Next up, we have Key and Bad Love. So I actually kept up with all of the teasers for this because I'm surrounded by SM stans. Pray for me. And I thought the concept was super cool, but then I heard the first teaser and those synth sounds, the 80s trend, it really was not up my alley. I'll give it to Key though. He sounds amazing in the song. His voice is stunning. You know, I wouldn't put it as low as maybe Not My Cup of Tea because it does sound good. I'm just so over the 80s thing. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in It Exists. I just feel like the vibe would need to be a little bit more specific where I'm not like totally annoyed by this concept. Next up we have Hot Issue and Icons. This was another of those songs this month where I just kept going back to the teaser because it sounded so amazing. The second teaser, the first teaser wasn't anything special, but that second teaser, the beat drop, everything together sounded spectacular, sounded so beautiful to me. So I was really anticipating this comeback. But as I'm filming right now, the song hasn't been released, so with the magic of editing, let's... And when I heard it fully, I was not disappointed. It sounded really good. And lastly, we have CL with Lover Like Me. This again had another spectacular teaser. So with StayC, it sounded fine. It was definitely, you know, it took a little bit of getting used to, but Lover Like Me, I guess I'm a sucker for beat drops, but it just sounded like beautiful. And of course, her voice is stunning. My friend, Sherry, if you're watching, she said she was straining her voice. I will not accept this slander. You know, my toxic Blink friend will literally murder me if I say anything. Like, it doesn't even have to be negative. If I say anything. And she has the audacity to tell me that. I will... I'm sorry, but the punch emoji is my life motto right now. However, when I heard the song fully, it didn't hit as well as I thought it would. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in It Exists. Okay, so now that we're done the review part of this video, let's get into my playlist. So I didn't do this last week. I forgot to record it. This is my September playlist. This is my September playlist. Everything I listened to this month without it having to necessarily have been released this month. So the first song we have is Party by Girls' Generation. This is the only post-Jessica departure Girls' Generation song that I absolutely love. It's just honestly such a fun summer song. Shock by Beast paved the way. Cancelled. Dance the Night Away has appeared quite a few times on my playlists. Oh, we need to talk about this. So when I found out Woosung had like a remix with TXT, I was like, that feels really random, but I was really excited at the same time because he has a song called Karma that I really enjoyed. So when I saw that Woosung was doing a remix with TXT, I had like two separate thoughts. Like, one, that feels very random, but two, also this fits so well. Like, I can really see Woosung in this song. And then I was reading the comments and a lot of people were saying like, Moas, I know you might not like the song, but don't be like negative. Like, a lot of the comments are kind of telling other Moas to not be negative. So I feel like maybe a lot of people weren't liking it at first. But then I also read a comment that Woosung has credits on Love Song, and I was like, that makes so much sense. Like, I feel a lot of him in this song. Like, not that I know his discography that well, I know one song. So I listened to this remix, and for a K-pop audience, maybe I understand why some people were not vibing with it. It feels very raw, very, you know, outside of the realm of maybe what K-pop fans are used to. But keep in mind, I love that one Monsta song, so I ate this up. This was amazing. It's everything I've ever wanted more. Honestly, every single remix that Love Song has, so that I've heard so far, has been amazing, has added something different to an already perfect song. Keep in mind, Love Song was big booty bop. So then this came along and I almost felt like it was such like opposing feelings, right? You know, we do have a little bit of rawness from Taehyun's voice in Love Song, but it felt like miles apart, like Modsun's raw voice compared to, you know, TXT's more refined voices, shall we say. It felt so different. And I also read a comment saying like, oh, they must have really loved Modsun, so they gave him so many parts in the song. Here's my theory. I feel like maybe he made the demo and they kind of just mixed his demo with the, you know, finalized song. But who knows? I really don't know. But otherwise, I loved the lyrics. I loved the rawness. Particularly, there's these lyrics that say, "We count stars in the ceiling." And I don't know why I was so blown away by that. I feel like there's a lot of interpretations you can get from that. So either like we're living in a box, we're not living life to the fullest, we're counting stars in the ceiling. Or in another sense, it could be like we're too immature, you know, how children would have those like glow in the dark stars on their ceiling, you know, we count stars in the ceiling, we're too immature. I don't know. There's so much, like, I feel like within that one line alone, there's so much you could look into. I loved it so much. So in that sense, like, I know it's a remix, but I would put this in Big Booty Bop if I could. Really loved it. Love Modsun's voice. Just a very different feel to the same song that we know and love. I was on a Twice kick. I felt like an imposter. I'm like, do I really like Twice? None of their songs are on my playlist. But I can only add songs that I genuinely want to listen to in that moment. Otherwise, I'll skip them and I don't want to skip anything. But this was triggered by someone saying something about feeling special. And anyways, I always think to myself, like, do I even like Blackpink anymore? Their songs are never on my playlist, but then I have them every single month. So I think like I'm safe, right? La Vie en Rose, beautiful song by IZ*ONE. Loco by Itzy inspired this because I thought it sounded a little bit like Be My Baby, so I ended up listening to this. I remember trashing the song so much when it came out. I'm like, the ga 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 part is so like counterintuitive. It doesn't flow very well. And then I ended up loving it and it has appeared on my playlist quite a few times. And then Dinga by Mamamoo. I think this randomly started playing, to be honest. And I'm like, what? I never recognized how catchy this was. But yeah, that is basically it for this video. Thank you so much. If you made it this far without skipping, now that's a feat. This video is 1 hour and 11 minutes long. Edited down probably will be like half an hour. If you didn't skip, leave a punch emoji. maybe YouTube, maybe other viewers will think it's violent if they don't get the reference, but I just leave a punch emoji within your comments. As for me, I'm gonna get going, but don't forget to check out the links below. I'll have my Spotify playlist if you want to check it out. I just do monthly playlists of what I personally listen to. I realize that's a little like self-centered, but I don't know, I just thought it was a good idea for whatever reason starting January to keep track of what I was listening to. But Spotify's going to do that for me when they do my recap, which I'm scared of because I listened to 2 problematic podcasts out of pure curiosity. I was just too curious for my own good. And now they won't stop recommending me other episodes. I'm like, I don't support these people. I just wanted to like learn about North Korea and some random ass YouTube drama. Please leave me alone. That'll be it for today, my friends. A big shout out to my channel members and my patrons for supporting this channel on a monthly basis. It means the world to me, and you can too by clicking the join button next to the subscribe button or clicking the link in my description. These are the lovely individuals who help. I already said that. Fuck. I'm gonna get going. Go subscribe to my second channel. I'm uploading weekly vlogs, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.